And today's show is all about the things that I think, Bruce thinks maybe too, that you need to know about all the parks and resorts.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for being here. Thank you also for those that chimed in on, we had a couple weeks now, a couple podcast episodes. We've been doing this like winner guessing where we were recording from, and then the winner would receive a UTM shirt. And we just want to say thanks for those that participated.
Yes, the first week we did it, we were at the kind of the tour area in Disneyland Resort. A lot of people said the train station, but they said Disney World, not Disneyland. Sending out the winner's shirt this week for that one. And then last week's winner, I don't think we got an exact one. Last week's was really hard.
Yeah.
There was a couple good guesses, but it was really, really an incognito kind of place. We were literally sitting outside of the Frontier Tower at the Disneyland Hotel.
That's a tricky, I mean, that's
like the only thing that gave it away was maybe if you have been there recently, they have this giant life-size chessboard. And like there was some kids playing there. You could hear the chess pieces falling over and the kids kind of splashing near the pool area. So you would have to have been there recently to know that. But.
And there was a little bit of music playing in the background as well, but it was very subtle. So
it's like Disney music too. So it's very hard to kind of be that be like the catalyst for you to be knowing where we were.
Yeah.
But good guesses. I'll announce who the winner is because there was a couple people that were close.
Yeah, great. And speaking of Disneyland Hotel, I love the Disneyland Hotel. One thing to note, when you're visiting in the colder months, which is like January, February, sometimes they do refurbishments. Right now, they're working really hard for the upcoming Disneyland Hotel anniversary. So they're trying to get everything tip-top shape. When we were there for a few weeks, they closed the main pool, which was kind of a bummer because like the slides with the monorail, I think it's a highlight for most kids' trips, and by most kids I mean me. So that was a little bit more, but they were really nice. They did say, oh, you can use the other pools at the properties. They even offered the Grand Californian, which that pool is beautiful. But I mean, who wants to walk all the way over there in a wet bathing suit coming back? Well, I guess you could change.
It's not a close walk.
It's not. It's too much work.
The Grand Californian to the Disneyland Hotel would be close. I mean, it's close. It's not far, but you got to either go through downtown Disney or you have to cross a main road to go the back way, which is a little bit awkward when you're in your bathing suit, you know, and like you got to go. It's almost like you're going in the side entrance.
You know what I love about the Disneyland Hotel are like the robes they provide in the rooms, and then you can wear those robes to the pool. You feel all fancy, and then you just go back to your room. You don't have to like change or whatever. So that was a bummer, but you know what? They are getting it ready. It's hard because I guess they had to do an unscheduled maintenance on the pool. There was pool tile came off or something. And it's like one of those things where if they don't do it, people will complain about them not keeping up with things. So I guess in some ways you can't win. But
you know what I would love them to do? And they'll never do this.
Yeah, what?
I talked about this inside of our Club UTM episode that we just recently released. You can go over to Patreon and support us then there. We're back to Patreon over there. I said they should do all their refurbishments, especially like minor ones, like year-long refurbishments that are taking a while. They can't do anything about, but something that's going to be quick. They should do them all in January.
Yeah.
And I know they won't do that because then nobody will ever go in January.
Right.
But that's what they should do. They have enough money. They have enough money to be like, you know what? Like I know pizza shops that literally close their business to do a repair for a week. Like they lose a week's worth of sales, and a week's worth of sales for a small business is way more a percentage of their business than Disney closing a resort for, or doing something for a couple weeks in January.
Yeah. Well, our kids would be bummed because that's January is winter break. So that's when they can go, and it's a bummer. So I don't know about that, but yeah. So, they were really nice in the comment, but I just love the Disneyland Hotel so much. I highly recommend it. Even just if you can go for a couple of nights, I think it's worth it. There's so many places in Disneyland to stay. Of course, there's some like right across the street from Disneyland that makes it great, but there's nothing like the actual hotel, the rich history, walking through the corridors and looking at the decades, that whole area, just to me, it's the best. So anyway, moving on to actually the things you need to know, or at least I think you should know. The first thing on our list is Universal Orlando's newest resort, Stella Nova, is officially open. So many of you may have seen it online already. NBC shared an article all about it. And some of the highlights about the article was that Stella Nova is a 750 room. It's space themed. It is right next to Epic Universe. It's got that thematic design, really supposed to immerse guests in sort of a cosmic atmosphere.
Is this the one that we saw that was literally right next to a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. It is a little weird when you go up to it. You're like, oh, it's right next to a Chick-fil-A. It's 2 miles away from the convention center. So people are saying that convention center that a lot of people might be choosing.
That's me. Next time I have to do something at that convention center, I'm definitely staying here.
Sorry, got to stay at
I don't want to stay at the Rosen.
Yeah.
No offense to the Rosen. The Rosen was great, but
clean hotel.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to sit with suit and tie people. That's not my jam.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the, I guess, key benefits or, for the resort itself. A lot of people are saying that that's going to be a draw. But yeah, it's right next to Chick-fil-A and like a housing area.
Yeah, we found it by accident. Not that we found it by accident. Like we knew it was coming, but we just happened to be driving around Orlando because we were at the convention center doing something. We're like, hey, let's go to Chick-fil-A. By the way, nicest Chick-fil-A around. Kind of slow there. This is the first time I've ever seen a real slow Chick-fil-A.
Anyway.
Is that Stella Nova over there? Yeah, well, yes, it is.
Yep.
Wow.
It's right there. The building itself, the exterior, I love what they did to it because
if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the pictures we have for the exterior.
So the picture actually doesn't do its justice. We got to share an actual video soon because the way that it lights up certain areas of the day. So depending on daylight, evening hours, as the sun goes down, it glistens in a certain way. But inside, it's a very thematic, very, I would say, Men in Black type cosmic alien.
You know what I think of as soon as someone says Stella Nova? I think of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Because the Nova Corps.
Well, it's Universal, so you're supposed to think of Men in Black.
I know, but I don't. They should have named it something else because I think of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, there you go. Well, that happens when you're a fan of Marvel and Disney, so that's going to probably happen. But I think it's really a really cool resort for the price point. I think it's looks very sharp. I mean, there's nothing better than a clean, brand new hotel. It's very modern, mid-century. Dining options. Guests can do the Galaxy Bar and Grill. There's Cosmos Cafe. Big pool, big resort style pool with a splash pad and a fire pit. They have a really nice, also a fitness center and things. So pretty cool. Obviously, it's right next to the park itself, but some reviews have been interesting. So let's go over some of the reviews people are talking about. So some people have said Men in Black got a hotel.
This is from Reddit.
Yeah, Men in Black, definitely. But a lot outside of Reddit as well have been saying that it looks like the Aventura lobby. It looks like the Aventura Hotel, which now I can't unsee that.
Well, you know what I see when I see the lobby of it? So the picture on the NBC has the lobby.
Yeah.
You know what I see? I see the TWA Hotel.
Somebody did say that.
The TWA Hotel in New York, if you've flown into...
Sorry.
I think it's JFK, right?
Yeah.
Is it JFK Airport?
It is, and I love that hotel. So
it kind of looks like the inside of like when you walk into the lobby of the TWA Hotel.
Yeah,
it's got those rounded corners and the rounded ceiling sections. Makes it feel like that. The only thing it's missing is the retro carpet and red look.
So a lot of people said that it was because there's a lot of white. It has the Aventura vibe, but like the room itself, I mean, look at that, the celestial sky and the lobby.
Oh, you know what? Glittery. Now that I look at this picture to the next one, that does look like Men in Black.
See? I mean, I think
like this one looks like the TWA.
Yeah.
But then they switched to this one.
Pretty
Men
cool.
in Black.
Right.
I like it.
So I like it. I think they could have plussed it up a little bit. Maybe the exterior, if you really want to go the futuristic Men in Black, but for the price point, I think they did what they did. And
wait a second. It's better than the Disney hotels they're building nowadays.
Some of the Disney DVC hotels that they're building are not my favorite.
More themed, like not better built, like the structure itself,
but
the theming of it. Disney's taking a bland approach to these new, even the cabins at Fort Wilderness. They're like, you know what? How do we bland these up?
Unless they do like a space forest, that would be cool.
That would be
like,
cool.
Why does that look like spacey? What? Because that clean white aesthetic, that mid-century modern is just, you think of, like you said, Men in Black, Guardians of the Galaxy, all that.
You say mid-century modern, that just flies right over my head. I have no idea what that means.
Sorry. All right. And then if you go into Google, you'll see many 5-star reviews. People have stayed there. Opening day, there were a few hiccups on opening day. Some people said long lines, obviously. There's a lot of people there. Press, obviously, going for the first time, too. So it's kind of a hard...
If you go opening day, and your review says long lines to something like this, you should be eliminated from ever leaving reviews anywhere and ever in the rest of your life.
Okay.
Why would you do that?
Well,
It's like going to a restaurant that's really popular the first time they open. Be like, you know what? They didn't really have their stuff together. Yeah, no kidding. It's the first day they've dealt with the public.
This one was a 2.5, 2 out of 5. Rooms are 3, service 1, location 3. It says opening night, 45 minutes for quick service.
Don't go opening night. You're barred. You're banned from ever leaving reviews. I'm going to start a new website. Reviewing people who leave reviews.
Do it.
That's my new business model.
So 1 star. There's a YouTube videos with 1-star review kid.
I very much dislike people who leave 1-star reviews in certain, like, listen, some things deserve a 1-star.
Should I read more of it?
I guess so. Yeah, let's go.
Refills don't work. Given a little cup, and then it says no refills. Walls are paper thin. You can hear everyone walking and talking at normal volume.
Well, this isn't. Speaking of that, this isn't like the top-notch hotel that they're building, right?
Right. No, and I think
this is very much one of their value ones, right?
So she says shower pressure dribbles out, would not get above room temperature. That's been an issue with a lot of hotels lately, room temperature water. And I know that's a setting because for safety. I deal with a lot of this in my real estate life, is that home inspectors will say you have to have it at a certain level. It's for safety for kids, but I can't get in a lukewarm shower. Like, it bothers me. And a lot of hotels, I feel like they put it on the lowest setting, and it's kind of frustrating. But anyway, so gives the vibes of being flipped, but it's a new hotel.
Really? That's an interesting one.
All right. It says, I really hope they turn things around, but time will tell. Also, it's $30 a night for parking.
How do you turn things around when it just opened?
Yeah. Well, I think the primary complaint
turn things around means at one time it was great and now it's not.
Yeah. $30 for parking. What do you think about that?
I think every every Universal hotel charges for parking.
I think that coming back from California and everything is
the problem with
parking, you're like, oh, that's not a bad deal, actually.
The problem with Universal resorts is that they're not run by Universal.
That is true. So that's a confusing thing for a lot of people. They're actually run by Lowe's. And so, but they have the Universal hand stamp, I guess, whatever. And it can be a little confusing because a lot of it is controlled by Lowe's, even though it's represented in a way by Universal. So it can be a little tricky.
But that's the reason that they charge for parking. Plus, I think it's right near Epic, so that's probably why it's a little expensive.
That's
they don't
what I'm saying.
People parking there and going over.
Yeah, coming from California, you realize like everything is like you want to be right, especially if you're right next to something that everybody wants to get to. Obviously, they're gonna know that and try to limit people from going in what's over there.
Yeah, I think too.
What's out over there?
Universal in Orlando is kind of like Disneyland in Anaheim, where they don't have the space. Like Disney World has the space because they bought all the land with this in mind. Even Universal's kind of putting things together where they can buy land. All
right. Speaking of the Universal parks, upcoming special event dates were released. So there's Mardi Gras happening February 1st through March 30th. If you're listening to this episode right when it's released, check out Mardi Gras. I actually really like Mardi Gras at Universal. It's not something I think about much beforehand. We sort of get there by accident and Mardi Gras is happening. And I'm like, oh, this is like a fun event. The food, snacks, and the treats. And like, obviously there's the parade. Pretty good show. Pretty good time. Halloween Horror Nights, August 29th through November 2nd.
I feel like we just, wait a second. It's January, right?
Yes.
We're already talking about Halloween Horror Nights?
This is early. This
is worse than Disney.
This is early for Universal to be announcing these dates, which a lot of people I think are happy about. Obviously you can't buy tickets yet, but they're happy that they can start putting it out there and planning.
I guess that's true. Halloween Horror Nights is really busy.
Halloween Horror Nights is a big draw for a lot of locals as well, and maybe people that have never been and really just thinking about it. So it's good that they released it early. November 2nd always seems weird to me, though. Like, I'm very much into Halloween, and I think it's all year round, but the special ticketed event that goes beyond October 31st, I think it's a little, I don't know. A little weird.
Yeah. Well, they do Christmas after.
True.
They extend the Christmas lights and theming after Christmas, just so people can kind of maybe finish their vacation with it.
Way off topic, but speaking of that, we have some video about that. But in Disneyland, they were still celebrating Christmas. We got to see It's a Small World all decked out, and I didn't realize not only do they put lights all over It's a Small World, they put it all over in the area on the trees beforehand. So it's just like a magical little forest as you walk through.
Super
cool. Super cool. And then holidays at Universal start November 21st through December 31st. So holidays at Universal are a little later than what Disney normally celebrates the holidays. So it's a little different.
I wonder if that's because of Halloween Horror Nights, so they extended it past Halloween a little bit.
Yeah, it seems a little later. It was a little later this year in 2020, last year in 2024. So I guess no surprise. A big draw for the holidays in Universal is like the Grinch. Whoville is pretty fun. It's all of that. It's so different than what you get at Walt Disney World, but that's not a bad thing because it's, a little different. And then everybody's waiting for Epic Universe ticket updates. They're wanting to know when they can do single day, 2-day tickets. And this was officially from a Universal representative. It says, we were advised that VIP experiences at Epic will go on sale. Plus, not sure if this will include single day tickets and 2-day, but we will see. We do not have a time frame, but it will be on sale before park opening. So things like VIP, I don't think I explained that very well. VIP experience at Universal Epic Universe will go on sale before park opening. However, we do not have a time frame as to when that will be. Not sure if this will include single day tickets and 2-day. We'll see.
I don't think Universal wants to announce it that early because they still want the people to go to Universal now.
I think yes.
If they announce, hey, we're going to sell tickets in April, people are like, I'm just going to wait till April.
Yeah, I think that they're doing everything they can to kind of give good deals and promotions. And by the way, thanks everybody for supporting the team. And when you're thinking of Universal, you're thinking of UTM Travel. Really appreciate it. But it is they have that park open. They don't want that to like just stop. And so they're putting everything. They're putting good deals on regular Universal now, and they're kind of soft rolling Epic. But also, I think they don't really know what to expect. Is it going to be this huge draw?
Yes.
I mean, we don't know.
It will be.
You think?
Yes, I think people are going to go to Epic. This is the first theme park, like full theme park they've opened in Orlando in forever.
Forever and ever.
This generation, like think of our kids' generation, that generation has never seen a theme park open. The opening.
Like this, in this scale.
Yeah. So like that's something that's going to be grand. And the way they're doing it and the imagery that they're using in the artwork makes it look pretty epic.
I mean, they have to live up to that name, right? If they're going to call it Epic Universe, you better make it epic.
They better, because I'm telling you right now, if they open this thing and it's like a cheap knockoff of what we think of Epic, it's going to be harsh for Universal.
You can't name it Epic. You can't.
No.
It's just like be weird.
People are going to nickname it like mediocre.
Yeah, I don't know what else. All right. The next topic is my personal favorite. Space Mountain in Walt Disney World turned 50.
Wow, it's getting up there.
So Space Mountain in Tomorrowland opened in Magic Kingdom Park at Walt Disney World on January 15th in 1975.
Wow.
So it was the very first mountain to open in any Disney park. It was opened here in the world before Disneyland. Little soft music to play in the background. Do we have any Space Mountain music while
I'm going to play this video right here. I don't know if you can hear it.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love that sound right there.
It's just
the other thing I love too.
Oh, you stopped it in the best part.
I know. I want to give people a chance to go watch it themselves and like enjoy it for themselves, not
All
on the
right.
podcast here. I also love when you're going towards the end of the ride when it's like spinning around. It's like
best ever.
I love it.
Magic Kingdom. So be sure to check out Unlocking Space Mountain episode number 303. Maybe I'll redo that one because a lot of the Unlocking episodes is only I can only capture Bruce's attention for like 40 minutes, 45. So there's a lot of info in there, and but maybe we'll do another one in the future.
I think we could redo all of those and update them because a lot of things have changed since like episode 300 was like 3 or 4 years ago.
So a couple of things. Space Mountain was the first coaster experience to be fully enclosed in the dark, the first to be fully controlled by a computer, which was actually revolutionary at the time. So a lot of this is Walt Disney's idea. And, even though he passed long before this actually came to fruition, this would not have been in place, I think, if he didn't come up with some of the idea and love and wonder for space travel. So according to this person named Steve V, his last name beginning with the letter V, not Stevie, works with the Walt Disney Company, says, quote, "This allowed us to have 2 totally separate ride paths through space. The zone systems allowed multiple rockets to allow guests to be transported through the cosmos at once," he explained. "And the fact that it's all in the dark, that adds to the thrill. You don't know if you're going to be going left or right or up or down," end quote.
We were recently in the Disneyland version of this. I know we're talking about Disney World, but one of the cast members said that this is because it's computerized. They have so much time to get you on the ride. And like, if you notice when you're getting on, people are like, get out, like really quickly trying to rush you. Otherwise, they're going to like push you to the side, and because it just keeps going.
So that's in Disneyland, right? I don't know about World, but in Disneyland, when I found that out, when she said it, this is from a cast member, I couldn't get it out of my head. And it is stressful enough getting into the rocket. It's a little easier in Disneyland because it's upright.
Well, the reason it's harder in Disneyland to get out is because everybody's watching you. In Disney World, you get off in like your own little room. And then it goes, and like an empty car comes up and picks you up, and there's no pressure.
It's an empty, but you're lower, and it's a lot more awkward.
True. I don't know. Disneyland is more awkward to me.
Oh.
Anytime you get out of the car
and people are
or the
watching,
rocket and people are watching you, or you have to get out,
it is stressful.
And you have a time period, like, you know, when you're in Disneyland on Space Mountain, like there are people like, as soon as it stops, your lever comes up and the doors open for them to come in, and they're like waiting for you to get out.
Yeah, they're like psyched. They can't wait to get on, and you're just like, wait a minute.
Right? At least in Disneyland, Disney World, it's just the cast members laughing at you. It's not everybody waiting for the ride. Staring,
and you're like that one person that's taking too long to get out of the rocket, and it's just holding everything up.
Yeah, like if in Disney World, if I drop my bag or my bag gets stuck, it's just like, all right, the cast members are laughing at me, but there's 3 people.
Back to World, do not trust the little basket or whatever, that compartment there. Not the best. It's definitely prone to removing some of those items when you're flying through space. I learned that the hard way. Anyway, so Disney Parks blog shared some fun facts about Space Mountain and World. If you'd like to know about them, I'll share them right now.
What if I don't?
Well, I'm going to share them anyway.
Oh,
you can
okay.
also
what are you asking for then?
You can also go back to episode 303 if you want to take a listen to that. So Space Mountain is 183 feet. It is 1 foot shorter than the NASA space shuttle.
Okay.
3 astronauts participated on opening day.
Wait, the whole track is 1 foot shorter than the NASA space shuttle? That's crazy that the NASA space shuttle is that big.
Says it would take riders 22 rides every single Space Mountain open to reach the moon.
Huh.
Let's see. Starport 75 is the gateway entrance, refers to the year 1975, which is an easy way to remember when Space Mountain in Walt Disney World opened. Walt Disney pitched the idea for a, quote, Matterhorn in outer space, end quote.
Which is kind of like the Disney World version.
I mean, if you think about the Matterhorn, it does give, I hope that never changes. I know people have mixed reviews on that. I'm just very nostalgic, and I like it when it kind of throws you around in a way.
Matterhorn's like riding a car from the 70s.
Yeah.
It's got like no thrills, no technology. It's just like get on and go down.
That's fun though.
I guess.
You never know what's going to happen with your back afterwards. I mean, whatever. Space Mountain has 2 tracks, Alpha and Omega, and it's celebrating 50 years of space travel. No 2 mountains are the same. So that was something I never really put together in my brain. Although, so Tokyo was similar to the version in Disneyland, but the whole, I guess, attractions being rethemed. And I don't know if you've seen the image. If we could share the image here, so you can take a look at it too, Bruce. The one in Tokyo, the way they're trying to reimagine it, it looks pretty awesome. Look at it.
I can't show that because it's got all your show notes on there.
Oh, okay.
It's proprietary information.
All right. Well, so when it reopens in 2027, the rebuilt attraction will retain the original concept as a thrilling indoor coaster.
Oh, you know what? I lied. Here you go.
Okay. That takes guests on a high-speed journey through space, but will include enhanced performance and immersive special effects. These will give guests even more thrills throughout their journey and will provide a greater connection between Earth and the universe. And the way it looks, it's pretty, I mean, the light, it kind of has, I want to say Tron vibes.
Yes.
More Tron vibes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very it's a cool looking mountain. And I like I'm, very classic, nostalgic. I like the classic.
It does look like if Tron and Space Mountain had a child.
Kind of merged, right?
Yeah, like they smush them together because it's got that classic, like you could tell it's Space Mountain, but it does have that classic Tron look.
So it looks like Tokyo in 2027.
Yeah, Tokyo. I want to go to Tokyo so bad. Tokyo Disneyland. That's like the one place. Everybody says Disneyland Paris, but to me, Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland is the place I want to visit next. Oh, if I have to go to a park outside the country.
If you just have to.
If I have to. Someone forces me to go outside the country, that's where I'm going.
Got to do it. All right. Next topic is the newly reimagined Haunted Mansion Bride. Now back to Disneyland, talking a little bit of Disneyland. So we just missed it by a day. They closed once again the Haunted Mansion, and because they had the holiday, and then they brought in this new character. I guess it's new. And a lot of people say it's RIP to Constance because it's not Constance anymore. But so this is Disneyland's Haunted Mansion. So it's reopened and introduced a revamped scene in the attic featuring a bride character, sort of inspired. People are saying it's more inspired to the original 1969 version of the bride, which is a beating heart bride, which obviously I never got to see. I could see images of, what was there in 1969. It kind of does look like it's giving a nod to the attraction's history. And because that, I guess, character had a physical beating heart when the ride opened.
It says Walt Disney Imagineering unveiled a new version of the Haunted Mansion Bride. This one appears to be floating while holding a candelabra.
Yeah, so no hatchet. It's a candelabra.
And a beat. Why no hatchet? Like, come on.
So it's a different type of character. So it's more of like a lonely bride, and how I read about it was
because she killed her husband.
Well, it said that she is to be tossed away in the attic with the rest of the items that are up there, and she's still trying to figure out she doesn't know what happened.
She killed somebody.
She doesn't know. She didn't kill him. She doesn't know what happened to them. So she's much more clearly defined, and the bride's face is supposed to be more of like to appear grief stricken and sort of love.
All I know is I'm looking at this picture right here, and she's like, she got this image like, what's going on?
What's happening?
What happened here? Well, where am I? What am I holding? Why is my heart beating so fast? And why is there people looking at me?
Why is everyone staring at me? Why am I in this?
I'm so confused right now.
Kim Irvine said that it was intentional. They wanted to highlight the sadness in the bride's face. So people are saying like,
is that sadness or confusion?
Well, now I can't unsee the confusion. So
to me, she's looking off in the distance like, what has happened to my life?
It's like when you
How
zone
has
out.
my life become this? Like, what went wrong?
Oh, great. Thanks, Bruce. I appreciate that. Now I'm never going to unsee that. Well, to quote Kim Irvine, she said, we thought, what if we changed the story back a little bit to the original story of what the Imagineers had about a lost bride in the attic mourning the loss of her husbands. It was a sad thing. It was a story about lost love, end quote. That's from Kim Irvine. It's getting a lot of mixed reviews. People are saying that it's no longer Constance. They missed the hatchet. They're also saying they're not also loving the new gift shop, which is another
What did you think of the new gift shop?
I thought it was cute. I prefer Memento Mori in Disney World a little bit. I like the layout a little more. This one is, and it I don't even want to say. People are saying it kind of is like they're like, I saw something online was like, it looks like a Home Depot shed. And I can't, I'm like trying to get that out of my head because initially, and this is before I saw that, but initially I thought something's missing. I couldn't put my finger on it. And as soon as I read that comment, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely giving that out. But they had it. So it just, I don't know. There's something missing, even though there's a lot of stuff in there. I think that there's not a lot of merchandise. I was kind of disappointed maybe with the merchandise. And
what were you expecting versus what you saw?
Maybe a little darker.
Yes, I think you were thinking it was going to be more of like a boutique where you walk in. The problem with the Disneyland one is they have two doors that are wide open. So there's a lot of air, which is great. And there's a lot of light that goes in. So it doesn't feel like it should feel for a Haunted Mansion store.
It needed to be a little spooky, maybe a curtain. They did have to make it wide for ADA regulations, which I totally appreciate and understand. But I think that it's a little too bright in there. And
they should have made a walkway though. They should have made like a tunnel or a walkway. So you have to they can still have those regulations, but people kind of walk their way in. So it's not, the doors don't just open to the outside. So it's so bright in there. It's Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a little dark and dreary. This one was nice and bright and sunny.
Yeah. They also, it's like they're trying not to make a bottleneck, like
True.
in Disney. But I mean, isn't that what?
But I thought
if you're not bottlenecked in a park, what are you doing?
I know it's Disneyland. Everything's bottlenecked.
That's what the thing is.
I did appreciate when you do look up though, like all of the
Yes.
momentums that they had and all the memorabilia, or not memorabilia, but like decor. When you look up, was pretty nice.
I mean, it is a nod to seeing Leota Toombs, one of the first women to work for Imagineering. She was the inspiration for Madame Leota. She's beautiful, by the way, and just seeing her portrait and this up in the, I wish it was a little lower because my neck hurt. I'm so short, my neck hurt when I had to look up and everything, try to look at everything. But I loved that part of it. I loved mainly looking at. I'm a look down kind of girl. I'm closer to the ground, but there's a lot of details up on this ceiling, I guess, which is cool. But I think I wanted a little more. But I mean, it's cute. It's there. You can buy some stuff, and I'm sure it's gonna be popular. But I prefer the Walt Disney World version. I think they hyped it up a little bit too much. And then there's the new walkway as you go into, so more of a queue. That's pretty cool. There's more things to see and look at. So I think that will help guests kind of spend time waiting in the line. And I can appreciate the grounds a lot by looking through that, all the items there. It's more of a story. I guess it's more supposed to be more of a story before you get into the mansion. It's more about who lives in the mansion.
I guess that's true. The Disneyland version did need that, right? Because there wasn't much. You just kind of waited in the courtyard and then you walked in.
Yeah. I mean, it's an epic attraction. It's one of the attractions that I think is the center. It's just, first of all, New Orleans Square in Disneyland is one of my absolute favorites. It's just, I think that they have made that area entirely so beautiful and so just visually just appealing to everybody. Couple of things could they do differently? Sure, but for the most part, I mean, the Haunted Mansion itself, just the way it is pretty awesome.
I love New Orleans Square. It might be my favorite part of any park, New Orleans Square, like the walkways and how you kind of feel like you are actually in New Orleans walking through the town.
Yeah.
You don't feel like that anywhere else in a park.
You don't. And so, I don't know if they necessarily even needed to do more in the line for the Haunted Mansion, because I mean, just standing and people watching is pretty nice in New Orleans Square, but I can appreciate this. I don't know. I'm always looking for more. I feel like lately I don't know, my expectations, like I'm looking for like more in the story and more of like I said with the gift shop that they opened. It's cool, but I wanted a little more darkness, or I don't know. Is that
no, I mean, you're a true fan, so I think you have high expectations, as we all do. Who, anybody listening to this podcast is probably a really big fan of the parks for a reason.
Right.
Disney built that reputation of exceeding people's expectations. So every time they do something new, that you as a fan expect that. And when they don't deliver on that, or you don't feel like they delivered on it, it's a little disappointing.
It's not even that. I mean, I could say that about movie making lately. Like, it's like some of the movies that you come out there like, oh, that was good, but it could have been so great. And it's like, you obviously know that in the back of everybody's, it's there to make money. They have probably a 3-month deadline to get filming done, and there's only so much they can do in a short period of time. But it's like, oh, if they only had a couple more moments or a couple more months to get that really, like, if you think of movies like Dune, that was epic.
Yeah,
you can't rush a movie like that.
No,
so that's kind of the things I want to see. But anyway, I also want them done yesterday, so there's no satisfying.
Yeah,
the
Netflix generation and the YouTube generation want things really quickly.
There's nothing. They're right. All right. Well, and then speaking of Disneyland, if you're lucky enough to head over there this year or next even, and you head over to Disney's California Adventure, there's the Lunar year, but there's also some, which I never realized to look really into. But speaking of before, when we were talking about Disney parks overseas, you can go to Shanghai Disney and Hong Kong Disneyland Resort, and they have a whole guide to the Chinese New Year and everything they do to celebrate. And how cool would it be to go over there? I mean, it's cool enough if you can just go to California Adventure, but some of the things that they offer, I mean, it's just so beautiful and so immersive. And I would just love to go during this time and celebrate. But we had a lot of fun in California Adventure. We got to see some of the booths that they offered and some of the kind of highlights of what was happening for the Lunar New Year. And it looks so colorful and visual. And I'm very superstitious, so I love like the way the whole culture is presented and everything. And the girls have fun, so I love it. Really cute. But look at that. Look at all the characters.
That's pretty good.
First, don't look at the characters. Maybe
I like looking at them. I like looking at them. Like I'll
Yeah.
look from afar. Don't get me wrong. That's the one thing I do love about Disneyland versus Disney World is you always bump into characters at Disneyland.
That is gold. I don't know if I can express this enough. It is so heartwarming. I never took video because that's awkward, obviously, but I wanted to because I wanted everybody to see what I was seeing at the moment. It was like characters walking hand in hand with these little kids and really talking with them and like having that special moment more than just obviously you can stand in line, take a picture, that's great. But in Disneyland, they actually like you'll see characters holding hands.
I mean, I wasn't joking. Like I literally bumped into Aladdin as I was backing out from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Oops, sorry, Aladdin. Whoa, what the heck? Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. That I wish they did more of Walt Disney World. They used to, and I wish that would come back because to me that's what makes it so magical and immersive, and just those special moments are able to happen more organically, right? Than ever. I think I saw Pocahontas walking with a little girl, and I was like, oh my gosh, that little girl is walking with Pocahontas. That is going to be a memory ingrained in her heart for the rest of her life. Like imagine growing up and being like, yeah, when I was 8, I walked hand in hand with Pocahontas. Like how amazing is that?
Or what if her parents are like, what if she grows up and be like, I can't believe you let me walk with Pocahontas like, alone. What were you thinking?
Bruce being being so afraid of characters, like you left me alone with Tigger.
That's terrifying. All right, let me get announced Twitter before I forget.
Okay.
So last week we said, hey, did we announce where we were? We said where we were, right outside the Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah.
Now on today's podcast, we said, hey, where are we? It was really hard to do. So I'm just going to pick a random fan that emailed us. And I got a lot of emails. Thank you so much. Bruce at utmtravel.com is my email. If you have any suggestions, commentary, 5-star reviews, throw them there.
Okay.
This one says, hello, big fan of your show. My partner who tries to pretend he doesn't like all things Disney, but secretly does like all things Disney. And I love it.
Nice.
And are currently listening from the very freezing minus 26 degrees land of Minnesota. That's kind of why I picked this winter.
This poor person. It's like, you know what? You gotta cheer them up.
You deserve a shirt.
Right? Okay, good.
I am probably very wrong, YOLO, but are you at the Pixar Pier by the entrance of Pixar Pier near the Lamplight Lounge? I'm probably wrong, but that's okay. You know what? This is from Kate and Kinda Joey.
Okay, Kate and Kinda Joey. There we go.
Say shout out to Kate and Kinda Joey.
There we go. Get a free shirt.
You were very wrong.
Yeah.
But you're in Minnesota and I felt bad.
That's right.
So here you go.
That's how we roll here.
Send me your address, Bruce at UTM Travel. Email me your shipping address and I will send out a shirt this week. I'm going to do both the winners this week.
We know what that's like. Just feeling the sun beat on your face. It's so warm. That's like literally the attraction whenever we go to Disney World or Disneyland, just like the feeling of the sunshine.
Especially January, February,
that's
March.
What I mean. Oh my gosh. Especially forever. It's like never warm here.
26 degrees in Minnesota. Man, they must have killer jobs there.
Yeah. Or they just have family that are just making them stay and they're like,
family couldn't even do that for me.
Oh, no.
Family wouldn't even be good enough.
Oh.
I'm sorry, family. Minus 26 degrees is too much.
Sorry.
It's got to be a job that like I need to be in minus 26 degrees to get paid this. That's the only reason I'd be there.
Yeah. I know.
My family, you can get on a plane and come visit me.
You know,
you live in Minnesota. I live in Orlando. It's good.
Or that's a problem. Maybe we shouldn't. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well,
but that's it.
That's great. Well, that's going to do it with everything you need to know. I don't know if that was 5. It was probably 10 knowing me, but that was 5 things we thought you should know. And we hope you like it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. This one will be on YouTube as well. So go subscribe over there. Leave a 5-star review on iTunes. You can leave some words on Spotify. It's just a button.
Yeah.
5 stars. And that'd be super great. And we will be back at you. If you want to join Club UTM, you can just go over to the website. We'll leave some stuff in the description. We just put a podcast out for that too. So thanks so much.
If you don't want to do anything, that's fine too. Just listen. We hope that this was giving you a little bit of fun and escape today while you're wherever you are.
Yeah, 100%. I'm obligated to say all that stuff. I don't care if you do any of it.
Right? You're obligated?
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
Who tells you?
They tell me I got to do that stuff when I do a podcast. So I do it because I'm obligated to. contractually, but I don't
Oh,
care.
Okay.
Don't do any of it if you don't want to. Just hang out with us and laugh a little bit, hopefully.
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye, everybody.